The Giants are officially the first team to be eliminated from the playoffs, which means that Giants fans have entered draft season. The last couple of drafts under Joe Schoen have been a mixed bag, with big misses in Evan Neal and Deontay Banks, but huge hits in the future offensive core of Malik Neighbors, Cam Scadaboo, and Jackson Dart. With the emergence of Jackson Dart, the Giants can finally go into a draft with the goal of supporting their franchise quarterback for the first time since the retirement of Eli Manning. And no, the Giants should not trade Dart and draft Mendoza. With the Giants currently holding the number 1 pick ahead of the tank bowl against the Raiders, they will have almost every option at their disposal. I'm going to run through every option that I think they will consider, and at the end rank them in order of who they should pick. While the Giants came into this season feeling good about their receiver core, the injury to Malik Neighbors showed just how shallow the Giants' receiver room is behind Neighbors. Wan'Dale Robinson has played exceptionally well, but he is an impending free agent, and after giving out a contract extension to Darius Slayton, there's no guarantee that the Giants will bring him back. If they don't, they will absolutely need a new wide receiver 2 to complement Neighbors, and this is a strong wide receiver class to do it. And even if they do, surrounding a young QB with 3 excellent receivers is a recipe for success. The consensus number 1 wide receiver is Jordan Tyson, and there's good reason for it. He's a fantastic athlete and the elite route runner in this class. His route running is so good that I could end his pros with that and he would still have an argument for a top 10 pick. He times his routes with elite pacing, he's super quick in and out of breaks, and has added some functional weight in 2025 to help play stronger out of breaks and through his release on the line of scrimmage. Tyson's route running is truly elite over the middle and would give Jackson Dart arguably the best route running duo in the league from day one. His run after catch ability in 2024 was elite, but in 2025 it hasn't been the same. He's still good after the catch, but 4 of his 6 missed tackles forced in 2025 came against FCS or Group of 5 teams. It's possible the added weight may have limited this ability, or maybe his smaller sample size due to the injury, but I still believe that the elite run after catch player is still in there. Tyson can also go up and catch the football. He had some inconsistencies this year compared to last year, but the talent and ball tracking ability is there. Last year, he went 10 for 15 on contested catch opportunities, and that ability is a weapon for him. He does have some issues with concentration drops, and despite often perfect positioning on contested catch opportunities, he can still drop them, which in my opinion is more to do with his hands than the defender in the way. But outside of that, he has all the makings of a blue chip prospect who would be a perfect safety blanket for Jackson Dart from day one. While he still is my number 1 receiver at this point in the year, there are a lot of injury questions, and with Malik Neighbors coming off a torn ACL as well as 3 other injuries, the Giants may not want to invest in a player who is so injury prone with a top 10 pick. Another wide receiver who's in contention for this pick is Carnell Tate. Tate is almost the exact opposite of Jordan Tyson. While Tyson does struggle with drop issues, Tate hasn't recorded a drop all season and has made some of the most impressive catches through contact you will see all year. No one gets to interview these prospects, so judging intangible traits will always be difficult. But to see how much he improved this offseason makes me excited about how strong his work ethic may be. With Darius Slayton's drop issues, the Giants could look towards a guy like Carnell Tate, who is one of the most sure-handed prospects I've ever evaluated. He also has an elite catch radius and will make a play with 3 defenders all over him. He's a plus athlete at his size, and he still has more room to fill out his frame. As a route runner, Tate is not perfect in the short to intermediate game, but his strong hands and deep route running ability make up for that. Unfortunately, he doesn't give you anything after the catch, which is what keeps Jordan Tyson ahead of him in my rankings despite the injury. I truly cannot say enough about how impressed I was with his deep threat ability and strong possession playstyle, and I think that would be the perfect complement to Malik Neighbors' playstyle. And if they do end up re-signing Wan'Dale Robinson, that would create the most complementary wide receiver trio in the league, with Wan'Dale's short to intermediate ability, Tate's downfield and possession ability, and Neighbors' ability to attack all 3 levels of the field. On multiple occasions, Giants fans have definitely been frustrated to watch Jackson Dart put a deep ball in the bucket just for someone to drop it, but with Carnell Tate, you would never have to worry about that again. While I still have Tyson ranked ahead of Tate, Tate would be the perfect fit for the Giants to become a more explosive passing attack. The big 3 of this year's receiver class is rounded out by Makai Lemon, who won the Biletnikoff Award. Lemon is not your standard slot receiver, but he will get the same labels as one. Like Tate, Lemon's calling card is his hands and ability to play above the rim, although those 2 skill sets can come at very different body types. Just the Iowa tape alone is littered with insane contested catches where he's playing above his size. Lemon is not a burner by any means, and because of this, he will get casted as a mediocre to poor athlete, but he has arguably the best deceleration I've ever seen in a wide receiver prospect. You see this heavily in his routes, where he's able to threaten vertically and then stop on a dime and change directions. While he is a very good route runner, what impressed me the most is his ability to create late separation when there is a defender draped on him, to give himself room to pluck the ball out of the air. You hate to comp someone to a top 3 player at the position, but all of this reminds me so much of Jackson Smith-Njigba, a guy who out of college got casted as a slot-only guy because of his size and lack of deep speed, but after moving to a majority outside role this season for Seattle, JSN has had the best year of his career, and I think Lemon can be a very similar kind of player with great route quickness and elite ball skills for a smaller player. While he is very good after the catch, I think a lot of people will call him elite in this category, partially due to his slot role, but there are many plays where I felt like he left some meat on the bones. If the Giants were to let Wan'Dale walk in free agency, Lemon would be the perfect replacement to give you everything Wan'Dale did and more. All three of these young receiver options are great, but they're not the only way to help a young quarterback. Coming into the year, I had Spencer Fano as my tackle 1, but now Francis Mauigoa has ascended into that spot. While I'm not confident any of these tackles will be elite in both the run and the pass game, Fano and Mauigoa both provide very different but interesting skill sets for the Giants to consider. And with their long-term left tackle solidified in Andrew Thomas, it helps that both of these guys are right tackles. Francis Mauigoa is a traditionally built tackle at 6'6", 315. What pops on tape immediately is how technically sound he is in pass pro with both his hands and his feet. He is super patient with his hands, and once he latches on, the rep is effectively over. This patience can come at a disadvantage, as he can also be late with his hands sometimes, and with arms that aren't super long, that can be a tough spot to lose. His feet are always married with his hands, which wasn't the case in 2024, which led to much improved balance in pass pro in 2025. He anchors down super well, which in this tackle class is a hard trait to come by. He isn't the quickest moving laterally, so he can get beat around the edge by speed, and he could stand to improve his pad level, but he is the best plug-and-play pass protector in this class by a wide margin. Many people have called Mauigoa a great run blocker, but I actually think that his run blocking is a weaker point in his game. First off, he has very limited experience in outside zone, and doesn't have the traits of a traditional outside zone tackle, which may make him more scheme restricted. And the Giants don't have a coach right now, so we're not sure what scheme they plan on running. Despite his strength in pass pro, I felt like he got pushed back too often in the run game, and defenders were able to shed his blocks fairly easily. His balance in pass pro improved tremendously from 2024, but his balance in the run game still remains an issue. He's a very strong player, but he is a limited athlete with probably around 33.5-inch arms and mediocre movement skills. Mauigoa is my tackle 1 right now because of his elite pass protection out of the box, but he must improve his run blocking consistency to be a top right tackle in the league. Spencer Fano is the exact opposite of Mauigoa. He's a beast in the run game and has fantastic movement skills, but I am concerned about his size and strength profile. As a run blocker, he is elite get-off and creates so much drive in his blocks. In 2024, he had some of the best run blocking tape I'd ever seen at the college level when Utah ran more outside zone. This year, they ran a lot more power concepts, which Fano was able to handle, but he didn't feel like an elite run blocker on those concepts. Fano may need to be drafted to an outside zone heavy scheme if his run blocking is to be maximized, although I think he would be able to handle gap schemes at an adequate level. As a pass protector, he has elite range in his kick slide, and while he has some misses with his hands, overall solid hand technique and shockingly strong hands for a player who lacks so much strength throughout the rest of his game. Strength is really the main concern, and his anchor is so poor that edge rushers will just power through him and put him on his ass. As a pass protector, Fano is simple in his skill set, but that makes him shockingly challenging to evaluate. He is fairly technically sound with elite movement skills, but he has the anchor and strength profile of an undraftable prospect. I really don't know what to do with a player like that and where they should get drafted. If he can put on weight and add legit functional strength, he could be a fantastic player. If not, he might fizzle out of the league after his rookie contract. Usually the best strategy to build a team full of good football players is to draft the best available players regardless of the biggest need. Right now the top 2 players on my board are linebackers from Ohio State in Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles. The Giants will likely not target Arvell Reese since much of his skill set comes from his ability to play off the edge, and with the Giants' loaded edge room, he would feel like he couldn't be maximized with the Giants. While I don't think the Giants would take a linebacker at number 1, or even 4 or 5 per se, if the Giants did trade back with a team like the Jets to gain the Colts first rounder, I would definitely see the Giants drafting Sonny Styles with that second first round pick if he was still available. While he missed the entirety of this season with a torn ACL, Jermon McCoy's sophomore tape at cornerback was unbelievable. McCoy is an athletic freak with elite short area burst and hip fluidity. He has elite ball skills that would replace Deontay Banks' unplayable ball skills on day 1. He is often too aggressive in press, which allows receivers to cross his face and gain inside leverage on him, but assuming clean health, he is a future shutdown corner. Caleb Downs is a jack-of-all-trades safety prospect who will likely be a top 5 safety in the league. He has no glaring holes in his game besides for his high amount of shoestring tackles, which may not work at the next level. His diagnostics are fantastic, and when combined with his elite burst downhill, he is a force anywhere he is played. If the Giants hold on to the number 1 pick, they will almost certainly trade it down to a QB-needy team, with the Raiders, Browns, Jets, Cardinals, Dolphins, and Rams picking at 2, 3, 4, 6, 10, and 11 respectively. There will 100% be a team willing to trade multiple first-rounders and maybe even more for the chance to pick their QB. The skill sets of all these players have been laid out, so in order, this is who I would draft for the Giants. 1. Jordan Tyson. This is really pending medicals. He has had injuries all 3 years of college, and that may not be someone that you want to take a chance on, but talent-wise, he is a top 3 talent in this class, no doubt. At number 2, Carnell Tate. I love all 3 wide receivers, and I would be ecstatic with all of them, but Carnell Tate would be such a seamless fit with the Giants with his elite hands and deep ball skills. Number 3, Makai Lemon. Dart needs another quick separator who is tough over the middle of the field, and Lemon is all that and more. And number 4, Jermod McCoy. McCoy is another injury question mark, but arguably the Giants' biggest positional need. He would be a day 1 difference maker. Number 5, Arvell Reese. It's pretty insane to have my number 1 player as the 5th most desired draft prospect, but the Giants just have too much talent off the edge to maximize Reese, who needs to be used as a true edge linebacker hybrid. If they did draft him, you would likely see Kayvon Thibodeau traded. I love Thibodeau, and I wouldn't be in favor of trading him unless it had to be done, but I think Arvell Reese has legit top 3 defender in the league potential if he can put it all together, and that's just too hard to pass up on no matter the need. At number 6, Sonny Styles. Drafting a pure inside linebacker in the top 10 is not a great use of positional value, but Sonny Styles might be the best plug-and-play player in the draft and a rare elite linebacker prospect. I even think he's a better player than Arvell Reese out of the gate, but Reese's potential is just so high that I do have a higher grade on him. At number 7, Francis Mauigoa, a potentially elite pass protector for Dart that unfortunately has too many deficiencies in the run game and his athletic profile to be considered higher. But he plays the Giants' most important need, which is right side offensive line with tackle or guard flexibility. At number 8, Caleb Downs. We definitely need help with our safety play, so I think he would be a day 1 starter, but I don't think Downs has the ability to completely change a defense like Kyle Hamilton, and the Giants have too many needs to take a safety in the top 10. Which, yes, I know is hypocritical if I would take Sonny Styles in the top 10, but that's just more about how elite I think Sonny Styles is. At number 9, Spencer Fano. Fano reminds me a lot of a more put-together Marcus Bowe. For some, that may be intriguing, but I would rather see what we have in Bowe before dipping into the ultra-athletic, very poor strength well again at offensive line. I loved Fano's potential last year, but of all the players on this list, he was definitely the most disappointing. I understand Fano could be elite, but his day 1 projection is just too scary to be taking in the top 10. And while supply of tackles is so low in this draft class that he may go in the top 10, I don't want to be the team that takes him in that spot. That's a breakdown on the skill set of 9 players that I think the Giants will be targeting in the top 10 of this draft. While the Giants definitely want to pile on picks, the quality of this draft falls off very quickly, so it will be imperative that they get one of the first 7 players that I mentioned on this list. This will probably be a GM's first draft for the Giants. With the quarterback already in place, this is a make or break draft for the Giants, which will decide if they look like the Patriots this year or the Commanders. If you enjoy draft content, do consider subscribing, as I will be posting draft content all cycle. Thank you all for watching.